Ibrahim Traore, if you're listening to me, I like your energy, I like your courage. One thing I would advise you is that power corrupts, and power corrupts very badly. You're a young man, 35 years. You've been exposed to power, so much power. Look at the way you were transported to Russia the other day. That is the display of power. I'll advise you to guard your heart against getting drunken with power. Maintain your focus. Your focus is very clear. It is to improve the lives of people in Burkina Faso and Africa. If you have the idea of bringing up one currency for Africa, don't put it down. It is time for you to continue focusing on your desire to make Africa better. Don't shift that focus. Don't shift it just because you've been exposed to power, so much power. Continue maintaining the focus. That's my advice for you, Traore.
Ibrahim Traore, the president of Burkina Faso. There is something that has just happened today. The West have said that Ibrahim Traore has killed 130 Burkinabés, and there was a protest that was organized in Burkina Faso against Ibrahim Traore, saying that they want Ibrahim Traore to step down in power. A lot of people knows very well that this protest was sponsored by the West. People were given money yesterday at night. What is currently happening? In our today's story, we want to discuss the current situation in Africa. As we always say, we are Africans, and Africa is our business. Yes. Thank you so much, Jonah.
Thank you.
It's been long, sir.
Quite some time. We were here on Haiti.
Yeah.
Yes.
But right now, we are in Africa. As we always say, we are Africans, and Africa is our business.
Right.
Yeah. Ibrahim Traore. What can you say about that? Because this guy, why are the West wants to bring Ibrahim Traore down, according to you?
It's amazing that Ibrahim Traore, for some reason, seems to be doing the correct things for his people. It's really amazing. The manner in which he took government is a bit questionable to many, and that's the weakest point for all the people, especially the West, that are fighting him. They seem to go back to the manner in which he took government. But let's put that aside and look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing right now in his country. Can you believe it? Free housing. You know, in Kenya we have affordable housing. We pay housing levy. He's giving people housing for free. Who wouldn't want that? He's giving free healthcare, free education. There is quite some amount of good work that Ibrahim Traore seems to be doing in his country. Now, my opinion would be this. If you put aside the manner in which Ibrahim Traore came into power, of course, that is a story for another day. No one wants to come into power through that means. We are talking about democratic leadership. Ibrahim Traore seems to be doing things very democratically and in a manner that seems to be agreeable to majority of Burkinabés. And that is what is worrying the West. Yes.
And there's something that has just happened today. They have said that Ibrahim Traore has killed 130 people, and they want to arrest him, dead or alive. What can you say about that? Because this is being spearheaded by West. It's being spread through the Western media. What can you say about that?
Of course, if an allegation is true, that's another story. There is no space for killing. It's not agreeable at all. One life is one life too many. But what is questionable in this case is that there is a lot of suspicion for false information. There is a lot of fake news in relation to Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso. You know, when a country is in that kind of state, there is just some kind of, it's a mess. It's a mess, especially you don't know what is true. There is a lot of propaganda at play right now. The other day, Ibrahim Traore was taken for a meeting to Russia. And for some reason, he had to be escorted by fighter jets from Russia. And the President Putin sent his own private jet to collect Traore. Well, Traore is democratic. That means Putin a bit questionable. So there is a lot of, there is a lot of vacuum here for propaganda. There is a lot of truth and half-truths. Once Vladimir Putin comes into play, then of course that brings in a lot of concern from other quarters. So you may not know what is true and what is not true. But what I can say for now is that as far as his country is concerned, Traore seems to be doing the correct thing. But when the West comes in, for some reason, confusion comes in. You see, the West is saying this, then Russia comes in, then it gets into an international conflict. Now it is like Russia versus the West, using Burkina Faso now. That has been the mess of Africa. You see, Jeff, for a long time, Africa has wanted to be doing the correct thing. What has been happening to some of our best leaderships?
Someone like Thomas Sankara.
Yes.
Someone like Gaddafi.
You remember the man from Togo? Yeah, the man who wanted to come up with one currency for Africa.
That is what Ibrahim Traore is planning, and the West are really fighting him up. What is happening?
The moment Africa comes up with its currency, the dollar is down. It is a scary thing. It is a scary thing. Any leader in Africa right now that brings up a common currency for Africa, it will beat the dollar, it will beat the euro, it will literally beat the Japanese yen and all those international, because Africa's currency will be based on the minerals. Can't you see the fight for minerals? Even what is happening in Burkina Faso when Russia comes in, it is a deal for uranium. Do you know that? It is. Yeah, but basically mostly uranium, because Russia has an interest in nuclear energy. It is because of the uranium that Russia is coming into Burkina Faso. What did the US do the other day for Congo? They said, US first, peace for minerals. So it's like they are going in for minerals of Africa. If Africa's currency comes up right now, it will not be based on fiat or anything. It will be based on our minerals, African minerals. And that in itself will make it very strong. That is what Mali had started. You remember Mali? And they had to be brought down. Mali went into poverty because of that idea. Right now, Traore seems to be championing that. And that's why he's in trouble.
And what is shocking me, why does this African head of state don't want to support Traore? Like, this guy is just alone with Niger, Mali only. Why are these people not supporting him? Because this guy looks to be doing a right thing to the Burkinabés. And his plan here say that if he has finished uniting the Burkinabés, he wants to unite the whole of Africa.
Obviously, he is not uniting the whole of Africa for corruption. Obviously, he's uniting the whole of Africa for the right leadership. Look at what is happening in Kenya, the Gen Zs uprising. Look at what is happening in the Arab Africa, the uprising of the youth in Tunisia and all those countries of Africa. There is a certain craving for ethical leadership, a leadership of virtues and purpose. So obviously, the dinosaurs, the last dinosaurs, they won't want to bring a new order in Africa. They would still want to continue moving into corruption and leading in the manner in which they know best. Try it. You will find it very difficult from the dinosaurs of Africa. And when I say dinosaurs, these are just the last dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are extinct. Yeah. So the dinosaurs that are existing right now, they're just the last dinosaurs. It is time for Africa. It's just a matter of time. Traore is a young person, 35 years. The danger here is that if it was the the leaders of yesterday expose somebody to that kind of power, they'll never leave power. But this kind of youth that are coming up, they are no longer interested in that kind of power. What they want is authentic leadership for people. That is not what the yesterday leaders want. They want a situation where they can make wealth for themselves, a lot of wealth for themselves. What is Traore trying to bring? Free housing? Okay, in Kenya we say ulisikia wapi. I would say ulisikia in Burkina Faso. Yeah. Free. Now he is trying to show the world and Africa that, see, it's possible. You don't have to be taxed for these things. The country has enough resources. We have riches that can do this. That's what Traore is passing. And it is dangerous. That's why he cannot get the support of the leaderships of Africa. For that one reason, he will not get the support, at least for now, unless the new youth come into leadership with new perspectives of leadership. That's when that can happen.
John, as you are finishing, yes, what can you say about what do Traore needs to do so that he can remain on power? Do you think that this guy needs democracy?
As far as things are concerned right now, this thing has gone into international conflict, beating the West and Russia. Traore needs to tread very carefully. He needs to get the proper advisors, because once you bring in Russia, you complicate matters. I know there is a resolve of Ivory Coast, being in conflict with Burkina Faso. You can't put it past the West to try and use Ivory Coast to fight Burkina Faso. They may try to hide behind nations of Africa to pull down Traore and Burkina Faso. So
the president known as Alassane Ouattara.
Yes.
President of Ivory Coast.
Exactly what I'm saying. So right now, Traore needs to embrace people who know the intrigues of international relations, people who understand how things can be messed or done correctly internationally. He needs to, because already he has bought the support of his people. So now the worry is not Burkina Faso. The worry is the international community. How does he balance? Because the moment you deal wrongly with international politics, you'll be brought down by the international forces. So that's what he needs to focus on. International relations. Very key for him.
Jonah, I want you to look this camera and tell Traore one thing that he needs to do and what you like about him.
Ibrahim Traore, if you're listening to me, I like your energy, I like your courage. One thing I would advise you is that power corrupts, and power corrupts very badly. You're a young man, 35 years. You've been exposed to power, so much power. Look at the way you were transported to Russia the other day. That is the display of power. I'll advise you to guard your heart against getting drunken with power. Maintain your focus. Your focus is very clear. It is to improve the lives of people in Burkina Faso and Africa. If you have the idea of bringing up one currency for Africa, don't put it down. It is time for you to continue focusing on your desire to make Africa better. Don't shift that focus. Don't shift it just because you've been exposed to power, so much power. Continue maintaining the focus. That's my advice for you, Traore. Thank you.
Yes, that's what we can say, that we need peace. We are always Africans, and Africa is our business. We need to pray for each and everyone. If Africans are united, no one can defeat us. That is the honest truth. Yes. Right now, as you are talking, Jonah, Africa is the country that has got a lot of minerals. Yes. Africa is the country that has been diminished by the West. More so, they are claiming that Africa is the poorest continent, which is not true. We know we are very rich, but our richness has been taken as granted with the West. They use our richness to make their country to be great. Right now, as you are talking, Jonah, the West are really suffering after Burkina Faso chased away all their delegates. We need to stay together. because Africa is our country and we need to protect this continent with our whole heart. As we always say, we are Africans and Africa is our business. Until next time, game over.